take time to check out the Afroeconomics with JB Bryan channel that is available for you, because subscribe so that you'll get any updates that I do in between. I try to, just if something comes to my mind during the workday in between meetings, to make sure that I share information with you, not just on our Wednesday nights. So that's one thing that social media does for us. It does, allow us to connect in between our Wednesday night discussions. Thank you for sharing your Wednesday night with me. This is Afro Economics Live, and I'm JB Bryan of JB Bryan Financial Group, a registered investment advisory firm and the home of Afro Economics, a strategic financial management program designed for the advancement of Black wealth in America and abroad. At which time, everybody with their mics open say, yeah, I'm just joking. That's what you do.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Look, that should be our weekly thing. Look, we just open up, just scream. How many? Well, I was just when I was sitting there with Michael, my husband, and we were watching television. It was a commercial, and the little boy was like all over the floor dancing. Oh, they were doing it about how expensive daycare is now, like how childcare is so expensive through this COVID period. And they had the scene in the back, and the child was back there dancing and having a good time. It really didn't care about the cameras. And I was like, how good it would feel in life that as adults, we could just do that. But if I walked in the room and Dion was like all dancing back there, we would be like, what's wrong with her? Tripping? why, why is she tripping? Instead of thinking, wow, that's a happy woman. We saw King Hollis and he's just like, loving life. Why can't we? Why can't we?
I'm about to say you're crazy.
Somebody would say you're crazy, and that's ridiculous. That is ridiculous. The only reason that literally that we get old is because we stop moving. I've seen a phrase and it says like your age is equal to the flexibility of your spine. I mean, and that makes sense. It's saying that if you stop, if you can't move anymore, then you're old. But there's a lot of people with young numbers who are not moving anymore, because they can't even touch their toes. They can't get up and down. I was like, it's literally a good exercise if we just like throughout the day or in the morning, just got down on the floor and got back up, got down on the floor and got back up like 10 times, and you realize, hey, it's not that easy for me to get down on the floor and get back up anymore. That's a goal, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
How powerful would that be if we all like just made a commitment to that? Because the 10th principle of Afroeconomics is Black health, Black wealth. The healthier that you stay, the more of your money can stay in your pocket. Right? Right, Mr. Randall?
Right.
Exactly. Look, you know what I'm saying, Mr. Joe? Huh? That you can just, if you are, and the Joes are grown folk and they still getting around, still doing what they gotta do, still getting down on the floor and getting back up, right? Right, Mr. Joe? Okay. Look, somebody else say it for him. He's probably like, how I turn this mic on? Exactly. I don't know why I know she said my name, but she did. Say right for them, Miss Charles. I know. Y'all like, I turn your mic on, y'all turn it off. I know you're like, I got other things. JB knows I got things that I'm doing. We all walking around the house with the telephone. But so behavioral finance or financial psychology is about what is your mindset about life? What is your mindset about money? What is your mindset about your legacy? What is your mindset about your future? There has been extensive research on the financial psychology, or the psychology of finance, or behavioral finance, all of that is the same. All of it is about the study of your mind and your behavior and how it relates to spending, saving, and investing. So a lot of times when they refer to, oh, there's a wealth gap and things like that, a lot of it is about the difference in how different cultures, specifically my Black culture, has been programmed to approach investing, for example. If you were not, for generations, not allowed to invest or participate in the stock market, how can our confidence be as strong as a third generation stock market investor? It takes a lot. I remember when I first became a stockbroker and my white friend working next to me, he was talking about how when he was growing up, they had a stock market game and they would play stock market while I was playing mud pies. We're not thinking about it. We're not being, you know what I mean? So with this generation, what frightens me is that they're talking more about things that don't have any way to follow and that aren't being regulated. I bet it's more likely to find a Black child that knows the word Bitcoin than knows what Wall Street or knows the word entrepreneurship. But they've heard that word. See, now we have to be careful about the get rich quick swoon and movement that's trying to suck up the financial psychology of our young folk. Because there's one thing that we do know, and we know this for sure, that a fool and his money shall soon part. That's from the beginning of time. That we have to make sure that we start making smart financial decisions, discipline. That's why you have people who they closed out, said they couldn't even open up see, the reason I was talking about mud pies is because you weren't letting my grandparents walk into this firm and open up accounts.
That's right.
In my career, I have walked in Black people's home who have told me I have my stock certificates in my house because that firm you work at, they wouldn't let my husband open up an account there. I said, ma'am, please forgive them and let me help you. Because I'm the only Black person in there and I need to get some assets in. So I get what they did, but I'm going to help you. You know what I'm saying? We're going to get past this somehow because it's not safe for you to have those in your house. If your house burns down, they're going to be gone. Like, back in the day, there wasn't like it's kept on a computer and all of that. There's probably families out there now that have the stock certificate. And it makes it so difficult because it's impossible to keep up with the value of that investment. So it's not as easy, I'm going to say. It's not impossible. Somebody try to sue me. She said it's impossible. All I have to do, okay, you can keep up with it, but it's a lot easier when you have it and you have it in the system and you're getting regular statements and you know about dividends and you know about reinvesting things and it can be done versus all these little checks coming to your house and things like that. But you have to be there to get it. What I'm saying. Don't move, Lord. Anything could happen. So we didn't have the opportunities. Some companies probably wouldn't even allow them to buy the certificate directly. They have mostly things like from the utility company that would send things out, but they couldn't get the investment accounts. So if you don't give me, my opportunity, then you're actually developing my financial psychology, especially my financial literacy part. Financial literacy is part of our financial psychology, our financial mindset. True? You're not going to invest in anything if you don't know about it.
Correct.
right?
Yes, ma'am.
So financial psychology is the study of the mind and behavior as it relates to spending, saving, and investing decisions. Financial psychologists apply psychological theories and methods and practices in the area of personal finance and financial services. They're actually people who that's all they do is sit down and talk with someone. And then Michael was like, well, what? I said, well, maybe like if somebody has a gambling problem, I guess, or somebody has like an extreme fear of the stock market and they want to get past it, they might want to look for someone that focuses on financial psychology, or say they were married and the person took all of their money and they, and that developed this huge anxiety in them about money. You feel that?
Yes.
That happens. That happens, right? He said,
Yes.
it's a private joke we were having right there. Exactly.
It isn't private, baby.
He said, you gonna tell him, you gonna keep it real, right?
Keeping it real. Definitely.
It happens, but look, like, but still you stand and see how, and you're doing the right thing. But it took, like, after you go through such a negative experience, it takes time to develop a sense of trust. I can only imagine how much it took for him to develop a trust for me. Plus, I'm a female, and it happened, and what caused the tragedy, was a female. So all of these things go into a person's financial psychology. Some people will go through something with a woman and they'll say, I'll never let a woman help me with my money, something like that. Or a black person took $5 from them. All of those are like, that's financial psychology. I'll never trust it, God forbid. They're saying, make these. Have you ever met someone and something happened to them 30 years ago and they still live by that rule?
Yep. Absolutely.
Still doing it because this is why. Oh, it's terrible. But those things run rampant through our community, like not splitting a pole walking down the street. How many of y'all still doing that? How many of y'all make the person walk back?
Yeah.
Tell the truth.
Yep.
I've heard it in a long time.
Doesn't everybody?
He said, done everybody. No, I don't believe in it. I love splitting a pole just so I can get past that. It is not real. It is not real. And when I'm passing it, I rebuke that. It is not real. God watches over me. This splitting this pole does not affect my future.
Oh, that's right.
What about putting your purse on the floor with the money?
Exactly.
Is that true?
I don't believe it. Look, I don't believe it. But you never know. It could be holding me back.
That's African economics. That's
right?
economics principle number 11.
Put the purse. Look, my biggest fear when putting the purse on the floor is like, does this place have bugs up in here? You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
Isn't it the truth? Like you going somewhere, like you don't know what's up in there. But but I never have worried about like it will mess up my, my money. No, isn't that the truth? But we have to get that stuff out of our mind and take ownership of what we need to do to keep our money right. Mind and behavior. It says that the discipline of psychology itself. So psychology by definition is the study of the mind and behavior. So financial psychology would be the study of our mind and behavior towards the money. So the discipline embraces all aspects, psychology embraces all aspects of the human experience, from the functions of the brain to the actions of the nations, from child development to care for the aged. In every conceivable setting, from scientific research centers to mental health care services, the understanding of behavior is the enterprise of psychologists. So financial psychology encompasses practices related to managing one's financial life. And it looks heavily in the areas of developing our financial mindset, our social behavior, and our consumer psychology as well. I mean, think about it. It examines like how we make our financial decisions. And I found a study called The Role of Psychological Factors in Individual Investment Decisions. And I said that would be the core of what we would discuss. Because they say that we should look at defense mechanisms, personality traits. That was my husband. I don't know what you're doing, but you should stop it. The defense mechanisms, financial personality traits, emotional intelligence, and financial literacy. That's the main areas that we're going to look at just as we flow through these thoughts tonight. Like, so let's think about defense mechanisms when it comes to financial psychology. What we're doing unconsciously, like defense mechanisms are what unconscious actions that we make to protect ourselves from experiencing painful, unacceptable, or troubling thoughts, feelings, or impulses. So if these defense mechanisms, these things that we're developing to avoid pain, how does that impact our money? So some key areas of defense mechanisms, types of defense mechanisms, and I want to look at them from a financial perspective. If you think about denial itself is a defense mechanism, and it refers to the conscious and unconscious refusal to accept the reality of a painful or anxiety-provoking fact. Denial is the refusal to accept reality. So think about that. Who knows an example of that when it comes to their money or someone else's money that they're looking at? Like, you could say they're totally out of touch with reality.
Maybe people not paying their rent during the COVID, perhaps.
I got checks, so I got money.
I got.
Like they're in denial that they had to pay that back.
They said they got tricks.
No, I have checks, so I.
Oh, I was like, whoa, okay.
Oh.
That's funny. I was like, let me go back. Somebody else thought you said tricks too.
No.
Oh, Joanne. See, she said, yeah, they feel like they have the checks. Exactly. So they're in this point of they feel like it's always going to continue even. They're denying the fact to themselves that this is going to end. Mm-hmm. What are you going to do when this ends? But they've become comfortable with just ignoring it because it's too painful to accept the fact, look, that they gotta go back to work. Look, that you're gonna have to come up with that money, or you're gonna have to, make that. You're going to have to do something. Or maybe they've just been sitting the money there, but they don't want to give it to their landlord, and they just keep trying. It's just too painful to think that they have to make that decision. So what? They'll try to find somewhere else to move. Instead of just taking care of that, and they'll ruin their credit eventually because it will catch up with them as an eviction and money that's owed. Or one time I spoke with someone and he didn't have a business, but he created one to get the PPP loan.
Oh my God.
And he was bragging about how he got the PPP loan. And I said, my brother, like they're gonna catch up with you. That you can't do that. And he said, well, you know how many people did that? And this was when it was first starting. So we really like that's probably where a lot of people made the mistake because they didn't see the news stories about all these people going to jail for it. They hadn't all come out yet. So he's saying, he was like, I said, well, just because, of that, like someone else is doing something, you don't have to, you can't do that. You can't do something and you don't know what's going to happen. But it's, I don't feel comfortable with this. But it was in denial that you really felt like I can do this because everybody else does. He died, and I don't even know why he would say that because I told him I didn't. I haven't. Like everybody else doesn't. What? And there's also a form of denial called displacement. And displacement is if you you're angry, but you don't place that anger or disappointment or joy even in the right area where it's supposed to be. But most of the time, they're mad at something and then they'll take it out on something else. So if they don't, like, for example, for me, they might say, I might suggest you should do this investment. And then they might say, oh, nah, that's a dumb idea. But the fact is they really don't have the money. So instead of saying, I don't have the money, they'll say it's a dumb idea. Instead of addressing it that, no, you just don't have the money right now. How can I, do? What should I do? Can you help me? And actually get the help. And a lot of people don't join Afroeconomics because they really get mad at the idea of it takes time to get money. They rather sign up for something that lies to them. So they displace their anger at getting robbed onto something that's actually legitimate.
Yeah.
And then they'll get into something that's illegitimate in the attempt to satisfy that I know nothing is any good anyway. It's like a person who has a self-fulfilling, they want something positive. They want to be loved, but instead of being a loving person, they are a mean person. So they display, so the very thing that they want, they push away. Or the very thing that they want, instead of being it, they are the opposite of it. You want honesty, so they go around lying all the time. You can't trust people, so they become untrustworthy. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's like, but you have now become that which you despise. Displacement and right, it's deep when you think about it. And then intellectualization. Intellectualization is when you become overthinking and overemphasizing a particular part of a situation. And then so you'll decide, I'm not going, and I think that unfortunately, when the research shows that women are more likely to be very conservative investors, it's because they're over intellectualizing how they approach investing. And when I say, okay, this is what we should do based on your risk tolerance, your goals, this and this and that, it's a woman is more likely to over intellectualize the situation and look for all the reasons why it won't work for her. Well, I can't do that because no matter what, if I go, oh, we do this and this will save you money and this will this and this, and they'll say, well, I think it's just best that I, stay in this one because over the last 20 years, I have doubled my money. And I'm thinking 20 years, you know what I'm saying? It's but like she's excited because, you know what I'm saying, that she feels like, you know, if you look at it intellectually, where the guy with half the money looks at it and says, and I say, well, based on the last, like, you know, da 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 da, I've been able to da 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 da, you know, and da da da, and he said, yeah, all right, let's do it. And will he ever over intellectualize and second guess himself? Very rarely. Very rarely will a man call me back and go, what did I do? You know what I'm saying? A woman, we're more likely to call me back and go, I'm very afraid of what I just did. Like, you know what I'm saying? What did I do again? Blah, blah, blah. You know, and then and then it makes it so bad. She's more likely to be the one to try to push me through the process because she's more accustomed to someone taking advantage of her. So when she runs into someone like myself, who is very methodical, very relationship oriented, very psychological, I gotta get how your mind works so that I can do the right thing for you. Many people, many, unfortunately, women are not accustomed to the person taking the time to treat you right. They go, at what point is she going to rob me? She should have robbed me by now. It's really sad. And they're really sad. And then the man says, this is exactly the way I need to be taken care of. This is exactly the way it's supposed to be. Don't be rushing through my money. Take care of my money. Take your time. Do it right. Yes. Do it right the first time. And no rushing. What? And then when you do that, you know, you don't have to worry about second guessing yourself, you know, and know it that you, but I feel like that we never think about over intellectualization or intellectualization as a form of denial. How would we ever think of that? No, but that's I looked up forms of denial. I didn't look up financial stuff. I just wanted to when the study said did not that the this is a particular form of defense mechanism, is a key factor of financial psychology. I didn't want to know what they thought was the defense mechanism. I wanted to develop what psychologists think are the defense mechanisms, and do I see them in behavior that I am involved with? Not just, oh, this is so it's like you're not going to be able to find this anywhere else. You know, these are our Afroeconomics, the defense mechanisms from psychology, but applied to our culture, our people, our things. Yes. Oh, I thought someone was saying something. So let's look at personality traits. Now, those are defense mechanisms and common forms of defense mechanisms and how they come into play with our money and our financial decisions, which we could go on forever with that, right? But I want to also look at personality traits and money, and I wanted to see what's the difference between character and personality. So character and personality are both used to describe someone's behavior. The two examine different aspects of the individual, though. The personality is more visible, while one's character is revealed over time through varying situations. Character is revealed over time. What would you say? Do you agree?
I agree.
Right?
Yes.
And I think so too often we actually judge ourselves and others from personality, when we need to be focusing more on character. We'll go, oh, you know, that Kenneth Jones, he talks a lot, instead of, thinking about, well, that's just his personality. You know what I'm saying? But he's a very honest person and he's loyal and he could depend on if he says he's going to do something, he's going to do it. Right?
Thank you.
That's character. I mean, that was just an example, not Rich.
Wow. There you go.
Hey. He put that in quotes. He gonna have that to the side, ready for somebody. JB said this about me. Yeah,
exactly. He probably gonna have it as his ringback tone. To the lady, personality, but it's character. But you know what I thought was strong, and I don't know where I found it, but it was like, then this is so true. It said your talent will take you places that only your character can keep you. Isn't it true? When you think about it, like look at our superstars.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Their talent gets them to $1 billion, whatever, multi-million-dollar, whatever. All of that, all the likes and subscribers in the world. But something happens. And what happens is not their personality, because all the likes and all of that comes from personality. It's the character, right?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So when we're thinking about who should be your advisor, who you should do business with, things like that, stop just looking for clicks and likes and stuff like that. Like, what type of character does this person have? Are they dependable? Are they consistent? Are they honest? Are they regulated? Do they have complaints, God forbid? What is going? I've seen like some of the top performers in my business licensed with 15, 16, 20 complaints from clients on their record, and they got like 100, 2 billion. I mean, all of these assets under management. It is amazing to me. I'm like, these people are not like what I think is it Bernie Madoff, the one that went to jail, but he passed away recently. And people were begging to be his client because of his personality.
They were like, please, Rob.
I think he died. Yeah. They were begging. He was like, I'll get back to you.
Yeah.
That is amazing. You know what I'm saying? When they can sit there and lie all they want, but I know that is not the only breach of character that man had. No way. No way. It don't just pop up 64 billion, dollars or whatever, you know what I mean? D. And you find out the person is a shyster.
Right.
No. And then our government, you know what I mean, gets involved. You know what I'm saying? No, and no. So you got poor people paying the government to investigate rich people that got rich off other rich people. And then the richest person got over on all of them. And they all signed paperwork saying, I don't care what he does with my money. I want to be with him. There's documents. Mm-hmm. But basically we paid for them to get their money back. So personality traits and money, while character and personality are both used to describe someone's behavior, they describe different aspects of an individual. So like when we look at our personality, what does it decide about your financial decisions? Very little. Most of our financial decisions are based on our character. Your character will say, I want to grow money over time. Or your character will say, I want to make money by any means necessary. I don't care if it's legit. I want it. I don't care if they, you know what I mean? God forbid, kill babies or something. You know what I mean? They're not thinking about what the companies do. It's like, just do it. And then, so that, you have to think about that's in this financial psychology. A lot of the things that go wrong is because of a breach in your own character. You have to take responsibility of that, even though we live in a society that does not make us take responsibility of things. I have forced myself in my life to take responsibility of each of my clients. You have to be accountable. But we live in a society where people just don't care. It's ridiculous. And stop. We have to stop spending our hard-earned money on things that are just dropping and throwing your money away. We do it all the time. And just because it's legal does not mean that we should be doing it.
Lottery.
Oh my goodness, right? The lottery and the MGMs and the trips, and our seniors. I would love to go up to one of those bus trips before the seniors get on the bus and just pass around a plate and tell them, hi, I'm a Black person. I got my own business, and I'm just trying to make it. Will you donate some money? I bet that thing come back empty.
You may
They might actually get off the bus.
They probably tell me, right? They're like, who told her? Look. They be like, that girl look like JB Braun. That's funny. Oh, get off the bus. I don't know what it is. You need to call JB Braun, figure that out. I don't know. We're going gambling. Get off. That is so.
I think you will get at least 50.
You think so?
I do, because I go on bus trips though.
But I know. But look, who it'd be from? It'd be from like
you wouldn't get as much. You wouldn't get as much.
They'd be from.
You know what? She probably wouldn't even get that, because that'll be taken from the tip money for the bus driver.
But as soon as they got there, all of them would start pulling out money.
The reason why I say that is because they always do pass a bag for the bus driver.
Right.
Oh, so he get it.
Right.
So he get it, and he getting
You'll be
paid.
taking his cut. Yeah.
Oh, he probably put
So
me off.
he
He
not
probably
gonna
wouldn't
let
even
you
let me
off.
on there.
Yep, he gonna put you off the bus.
Exactly. He be like, she getting my tip money. How he get tip money? Oh my goodness.
But you know,
you need to donate to somebody else. Exactly. Like, no way. No way.
But JB, what you're saying is true. And I think it's real sad that persons will not contribute to something reasonable, more realistic, but they'll come on after they go gambling and everything. They will come back and brag about how much they lost. And I'm like, come on now. And I be listening to them.
That's something to brag about.
Yeah, and when they said I lost 1,300 and I lost 2,000, I'm like, really?
That's a very really good point. I'm so glad you said that, because that's a character display of a materialism. That's a down low trying to brag about how much money you got.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it's also that misery loves company. So, you lost money, girl. I lost money too. So they trying to normalize.
But they want to make sure that they say they lost more money than the other person.
That's that denial.
Well, I'm broker than you.
Yeah, no. They had more money to lose. They had more money to lose. You had to have $2,000 to lose $2,000. So, I mean, if I would say that, I guess, you know what I mean? If my character was jacked up like that, I would go for big numbers. I'd be like, I lost $10,000 tonight. I'd be like, they'd be like $10,000. And everybody would look at me with like wow, she had $10,000.
They could be following you behind. When
Thank you. They be like, she had $10,000. They don't think that you broke now. They think you had $10,000. She must have some more because she ain't crazy. You gonna spend all your money? I mean, because you see all those stars, like they said, what, like Mr. Jones and Michael Jordan, like multiple millions of dollars on gambling.
Gambling, yeah. He had to have it. He had to have it.
And then it's supposed to be on the DL connected to his father's death.
I think that's more of a rumor than actual fact. I did hear that, and I've heard it more than once, but I don't know.
I know. Because how does a random black man get killed? You know what I'm saying? On the side of the street. On the side of the street.
But he got killed the same way Bill Cosby's son got killed too.
But Bill Cosby's son, I think, was changing the tire.
Sure indeed.
His dad said they said his father pulled over to go to sleep. You got millions of dollars, you pulling over on the side of the road?
To go to sleep.
I don't know.
It doesn't make sense. You're right.
Exactly. I don't know. And Michael was distraught. Like he quit the league and everything. Something was up. Something was up. Because
right
remember
after that, when he went to play baseball.
And they suggest that in that dialogue, in that movie, right, Michael? In that movie about him, that documentary thing, they suggest that.
And they don't. On a more conspiracy side of it, some people think that was part of their initiation to the Illuminati.
Oh, wow.
And that's how they were able to get to such elite status as Black people. They say that about everybody Black that's like multimillionaires like Beyonce and Jay-Z and all of them. They think that they're part of this elite group Illuminati and that somebody had to die in order for them to rise to that level. So it's all kinds of conspiracy things out there.
But that one is about, you know what I mean, that money. I mean, I really feel like there's like, you just, if you owe the wrong person, you know what I mean, and your character takes you to that level.
Because in their circle, they travel in different crowds, so they know people that we would never ever see.
Never can imagine somebody killing somebody over money, but it happens every day.
Yeah.
Be careful. What about so we looked at the denial comes under the, and I want to make sure that I keep you thinking, our defense mechanisms in our financial psychology. And now we're just talking about personality and character and how it impacts our money, you know. And I believe that given good character, we're going to want to see the history, the research, the asset allocation, the diversification, the names of the companies involved. You're going to want to see, like, if you're doing something with your money and you have to close your eyes to do it, don't do it. You want your eyes wide open. You want your character turned on for your financial decisions. You don't want to do anything that you don't understand. And you want to have enough confidence that you demand an understanding of it. I feel that it's the biggest insult to a financial advisor is if their client says to another person, like, and I hear this all the time. I ask someone, you know, what are you investing in right now? And they say, I don't know. I don't look at it as like the client's problem. It is the client's problem though, but I look at it as, you know, what type of advisor, as we were talking, remember, someone was saying about, you know, it's the teacher. The teacher has to make sure that the student understands. It's my responsibility. It's their responsibility, you know, to make sure that the client understands. But too often, you know, we have associated it as it's okay not to understand your money. That it's kind of, you know, a woman can, you know, doesn't have to understand money, you know, and we think it's cute. Oh, my husband does that, and, you know, and stuff like that. No. That's not, it's not cute.
Nope.
And JB, then also, I think it's just really good. Like, let's say you don't really understand something. Like you and I were talking in one of our appointments, how funds are like kind of blended in. If you don't really understand it, maybe necessarily the first time we discuss it,
there you go.
Ask that same question again.
Amen.
And if you got to ask it the third time, ask
Amen.
it again. And when you and I sit together, this is just something that I'm just sharing with everybody else. I'm not sure what everybody else does. I kind of keep a little notebook. And then I say, okay, we talked about this, we talked about that. And then I got like a little check off thing of things I know I want to talk about during the course of time we have our one-on-one. So
good.
Just passing that on to
good. Did you get on my last nerve? I'm just joking. But exactly.
You know what, JB, you love it. You love it.
Look, but I mean, like, just say you did have an advisor, and they will act like you get on their last nerve. You've got to start looking for somebody else. Like, it is amazing to me. Like, I don't want to go anywhere. I don't even want to go through a drive-through window and the person act like I get on their nerves. I don't understand it. So why we allow people to treat us like we get on our nerves? Like, I've had clients with hundreds of thousands of dollars, and they call the firm, and the advisor go, or they had to talk to their assistant. So the person made a mistake, and you're talking to their assistant that has no license and no accountability, and go, okay, JB, you're right. I'm gonna call the person, but I have to, you know what I mean? Have to, that person there. First of all, there's no advisor on the planet that's busier than me. So if I have time, I'm telling you, they are not busier than me. You know what I mean? They might make more money than me because their clients have more money, but they are not, you know what I mean? They're not busier than me. So
they're not busy working. That's what
they're not even busy working. They're on the golf course. Thank you. They at the house at the river. They at the so-and-so, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So don't ever allow anybody to act like you're bothering them, or they put you off on their secretary. You know what I'm saying? I don't care. But a lot of times,
any business, JB, I don't care if you go to a store, anywhere I spend money. If I don't get the service that I feel like, you ain't got to worry about getting my money.
Thank you.
That's right.
Thank you.
That's right.
I'll take me and my little $5 somewhere else. I ain't gotta complain to you. You ain't gotta worry about it. You won't see me.
That's right.
Isn't that true? Because we really matter. We really matter. It really matters. It amazes me how many times I see that we're treated like our money is insignificant. So Yahoo Finance did a study last year for 2020, and it said that the majority, no, it wasn't the majority, but it was over 40% of the Black people surveyed said that they were unhappy with their service at the financial company they were with. That is a personality character problem. How in the world would you let that go on?
JB, I have an uncle who's down in South Carolina, and I'll never forget, he went to his bank that he had been at for so many years, and he felt he was disrespected. He told me, y'all give me all my money right now. Right now. He said he took all his money and he took it somewhere else. He said, because it's a bank on every block on this street.
I know that's right.
That's right.
Good for him. And y'all ain't got to cry. You ain't got to act like you care. Like, you know what I'm saying? Put them out. Isn't it true? But that's culture. That's cultural. You know, I really respect him for doing that, because we just really let too much go by. And then, but don't, with them, because we really kind of have a zero tolerance when it's somebody that look like you. You know what I'm saying? He would have been gone.
JB, I think it's more so that we just indifferent to the money. A lot of us are very indifferent, meaning we're very lackadaisy with our money. And when I look at money, I think that money has a personality. I treat money like it's a personality. I'm not indifferent to the money, meaning I just don't just casually get my money up. or just pay me anything. No. I'm not indifferent to the money.
Good for
I
you.
think a lot of us it's just
That's
too
a very good point, though. Y'all agree? I agree. Amen. Amen. Like, and the way that we'll accept jobs and like never get a raise, or the way that we'll rent out houses. Like, I have clients that'll have a rental property, and they'll never increase the rent.
Oh my
Never.
God.
Like, you have 10 years. I had one member that her house, they did not pay her rent for 10 years.
How did they get away with that, JB?
She just didn't collect.
Oh my goodness.
She didn't collect. They told her that they were having financial problems and this and this and that. And then I said, this can't go on. We have to stop this. She said, well, nah, I gotta look out. I said, we gotta change this.
It's called a pay or quit.
We gotta change this.
You got to go.
I said, I know that you can pay it. I know it's not causing you a problem. I know you so and so. I said, but a part of us, just like Mr. Johnson just saying, we're indifferent, and sometimes you just don't think subconsciously in your financial psychology that you deserve to be as successful as you are.
That's right.
Well, since I got it, and you don't know what they got. They just ain't paying you. You assuming that they don't have it because they're not paying you.
I bet you they had cell phones.
They got cell phones, they got cars, they got, you sit outside their house, they got DoorDash, they got Amazon, they live in large, probably got, oh my goodness.
Yeah, because they're not paying you.
Thank you, because they're not paying you.
That's right.
So when I got on her, she went by there, and they had told her that that they had gone through a breakup. So when she pulls up, the guy's outside. So he said, well, Dad, she said, I thought y'all broke up. He said, no, I've been back 7 years. She was so ticked. She wanted to sue him then. I said, nah, let's slow down. Like, you know what I'm saying? But they got to start paying. And I think they felt so embarrassed. They knew they were wrong. You know what I mean? Really, she was like ready. She was ready. They were going to get evicted. You know what I mean? I was like, well, you don't have to do all that. But sometimes that's why we need somebody from the outside. Like, everybody cannot be a landlord. Like, Mr. Lawson is good at that. Like, you know what I mean? He'll do it and get it. But me, I remember when I wanted to sell a commercial property and everybody kept saying, well, you could just lease it out and this and that. I was like, I'm not a landlord. I'm an investment advisor. I'm not going through that. No way. I don't want to put anybody out.
Look, everybody needs a no person. If you're not a no person, you better be friends with a no person. You're like, oh, you know what? I'm going to let so-and-so handle this for me, because you already know that's your no person.
Amen. And then I don't want to pay those managers. You know what I'm saying? Then you got to give them the fee, give them part of your money. So it's like you have to be, you have to be ready. You have to be ready. So and know what you want to know what you want. So emotional intelligence is another portion of this, like of your financial psychology. So emotional intelligence, and they keep like throwing that around here lately, is the ability to understand and manage your own emotions and those of the people around you. How I gotta manage somebody else's stuff? What's that? Is that your major, Ms. Neville? Psychology?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, wow. So when you saw this topic, you were like, oh, she up in my leg.
I was late getting on here, but I said, let me get on here.
Oh, good for you. Good for you. You got a master's in it?
Yeah.
Did they talk about emotional intelligence? Like, this is, to me, it's like a new phrase.
It is kind of new. It's just been around probably more so in the last, 5 to 8 years. So it wasn't so much. They didn't have a whole lot of research and studies on it back when I was getting my master's and stuff. But now you hear it. I hear it all the time on my job, motivational interviewing, all kinds of stuff.
Like they said, like, remember back in the day, so some parts of emotional intelligence, and you can tell me if you agree would be self-awareness, self-regulation, motivation, empathy, and social skills.
Yeah.
But
back in the day, we call that something else. We call that you had manners, you knew how to handle yourself. You were back in the day, we call that being mature. You were aware, you could regulate yourself. Wow. That's what they called it back in the day. You knew how to not go out and act a fool. You knew how to talk to people. So it was kind of more commonplace back in the day, as you were expected to be able to do all this. But today, there are a lot of people out here who can't self-regulate. They don't know how to talk to nobody.
That's right.
So they even on jobs, they try to tell, when they're looking to hire people and train people, they want people trained on what they call soft skills, which is how to talk to people, how to self-regulate and things like that. So it's like a lot of people, especially these younger generations, they go out there and think, well, I ain't got to do all this, and they got all this. They're not your Chick-fil-A employees.
They know how to
right. Be accommodating, be empathy, know how to de-escalate situations.
There you go.
But today they go out there, oh, you going off, I'm going off.
Exactly.
It's
like last week.
Yeah.
Emotional intelligence is a big part of leadership. And everybody has to be a leader of their own life, leader of your own home, a leader. That you have to have these emotional intelligence skills make a big difference in how we manage our money and how we allow people around us, to manage us. But I know, like, last week, this person I hadn't talked to in about 20 years, but he was still in my database. And his wife called and she was like, I don't know what this is, but I don't know what you sent us. And I said, you got something for me? And I said, well, hi, how are y'all doing? This was my attempt to de-escalate, right?
Mm-hmm.
She was like, she
thought she was somebody else.
Woo! Yeah. And she says, oh, well, and see, that's why you have to be of good character, because when you ain't done SHIT to nobody, you ain't got to worry about somebody saying you did something. You know what I'm saying? So right? So I said to her, she said, well, you sent us something and it's saying that you want something from my husband and da-da-da. And then I said, hello, Mr. Are you there? And he said, yeah, I'm here. I said, it's okay if I talk to your wife? He said, yeah, because I'm not supposed to talk to her at all. And she would have really gone crazy if I said, I can only talk to my client, But so I said, he said,
wife.
He's exactly. So he said she was in I'm going crazy zone. Mm-hmm. So I said, well, text me what you're looking at, because she said the account had gone down and this and that and blah blah blah. I said, well, text me what you're looking at. And she was just fussing. I mean, emotional intelligence 0. So I said, fax me what you're looking at. Gave her the fax number. I said, and we'll check it out and we'll get together next week. They wanted to come in. First of all, the man was in his 80s. Why are y'all coming in unnecessarily? But I was like, okay.
She's younger than him and she wants to see what you look like.
Yeah.
You messing with her money, girl.
True. Her future. Because you could tell she was like way young. Because I said, I think I met you before. She said, when? I said, oh. Okay.
Oh, that won't you.
This is a new one.
Oh my God.
So I said, send it. And when I got the form, it wasn't with me. It wasn't with me. And I said, this is not my account. And she said, what are you talking about? I said, my name is not on this anywhere. It was a bank, at some bank, and it had it right on there. How did they choose me? I do not know.
Because they could get through to you on the phone.
She got your number out of his phone.
I was like, your husband spent everything that he had with me. Like, you know what I mean? This is something else. You know what I mean? And I was like, because I told her with confidence, I said, I know that if your husband's account's with me, his account is up. I mean, I'm not trying to be bragging or nothing. I just said that I just know this. I know, you know what I'm saying? So I know what I put him in. Now, is he still in it? Like, you know what I mean? I don't know. I'm not getting the copy of the statement. So then she was like, and then so he had gotten out or used it or, you know what I mean? Whatever. And I told her, I said, I'm sorry that he got out of what I put him in, but he is not what I put him in, but you need to call them. but she was talking to the wrong. I mean, first of all, why is it always the Black person? And I was like, he probably saw me somewhere or, saw me on TV and said, that's that girl that got my money. You know what I mean? Something like that. But
you did good. You used the different components of your emotional intelligence to de-escalate and to bring them around.
Amen.
Because she, like you said, she had zero skills.
Amen. Amen. And I thank God for being like that. And I think that you can be thankful that if you've ever been, I believe that experiences in my life have given me that blessing. I mean, I have to actually tell you, I've been through hell. So it take a whole lot of something to get me elevated. You know what I'm saying? It's like I stay
grace will take you through.
Amen. I stay pretty much like
and
right
it's
here.
Always in times like man, that you have to extend grace to others because so much is going on and people are in so many different places in their lives that you have to extend grace to other people.
But what you should know is that a lot of times our character will rebel people that can help us. I have now learned to only help those who want my help. In the old days, I would have said, come on in anyway, and I'll help you out. I didn't do it this time. I didn't feel the slightest need. I cannot take the beat downs anymore.
There's nothing wrong with that either.
There's no, you know what I'm saying?
And that's self-preservation.
Right?
You have to protect yourself because if you get yourself beat down, look at all of us who are dependent on you.
Amen. Amen. And one of my clients, she said, you focus on your members. Don't worry about being big. Don't be because it was exactly self-awareness, self-regulation. You know what I'm saying? Self-regulation means knowing when to put the stop sign up. I said, what am I going to do with her? And motivate, you know what I'm saying? Motivate yourself, love yourself enough to say, and know that but we don't even understand, people help people that they want to help. And nobody really has to help us. And unfortunately, as Black people, we have to learn the craft of teaching people how to treat us, one, and then also making people want to help us so that we can get what we need.
Iyanla Vanzant had a nice saying that I was like, ooh, I need to write that down. She said, sometimes you have to meet people where they are. And sometimes you have to leave them there.
Amen.
meet people where they are, but some folks you gotta be right where they at because there's nothing you can do for them.
Amen. Right. And stop thinking you the fixer.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Stop thinking you the fixer. We do. And that last component is financial literacy. And that's why we do. When you know more, what do they say? When you know better, you do better. Sometimes, but I definitely know that when you know more, you do at least consider more. Like you do when you know, like there was a time when you didn't even know what a mutual fund was. Now I talk to you about ETFs, which are graduating from mutual funds. One time you didn't even know what a stockbroker was. Now you're working with the registered investment advisor. So we're going, but all of that's about literacy. But you rest assured, there's still someone that's doing high load mutual funds, high fee accounts, doing, exactly the opposite of where you're progressing to. But that's because of your increase in financial literacy. And it is not easy bringing something that's different to our community. But this is exactly where we should be. This is where the Obama administration was trying to move all people into that people that do better when they have an investment advisory relationship where the person is actually licensed to look out for your best interest. I'm not connected to a product. I'm connected to you. Very similar to like when you hire a lawyer, You have a lawyer on retainer. That's why we can talk about anything.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm your investment advisor.
And psychologist.
And psychologist. and nutrition counselor.
Well,
and pastor.
And trainer and pastor.
Amen. Hallelujah.
And confidant.
Confidant. I'll talk about you. I just won't say your name.
Amen. Stop talking about me. All right.
I was talking about you, but I don't say your name.
Amen.
And you know what she's look, and y'all are good. Y'all don't even act like I talked about you. I heard what you just said, and I know you were talking about me. I said you one day. You know, the minister does that, and they talk about people, and everybody thinks that he's talking about him. You know what I mean? I heard you talking about me and my husband and how we weren't getting along. And they're like, no, I wasn't even thinking about you. You ain't the only couple having problems.
Amen.
Is it true though? Everybody think like she gotta be talking about me. I know she's talking about me. Everybody thinks they're the only one with that issue.
That's right.
Everything, and a lot about that behavioral finance is realizing that a lot of everybody, most people, I mean, I haven't found a person yet, rich or poor, that hasn't gone through a financial challenge. It's how we dress it with our emotional intelligence, how we handle it. That's the key. You know, like we can empathize with a person's situation, but we don't have to sympathize and make it our problem.
That's right.
Right? A lot of times that's what jacks you up financially, because you make other people's financial problem yours when you have stuff you need to take care of yourself. So let's keep on moving forward. I appreciate you all. We have our members only meeting on Friday at 9 a.m. and then our business meeting at noon. We are doing this thing. Last week, our business meeting was about how attractive people attract more business. And you would be amazed.
That was very interesting.
Oh, that's so cool.
I really enjoyed that.
Oh, that's so good.
I learned a lot.
And the attractiveness quotient helps men more than women. Who would have thought, right? But according
that's
to
funny you say that, because I know I saw RuPaul say, if you want to make more money, wear a suit.
Amen.
Wear a suit.
Yeah, he said of all people.
Dress it up.
So now we quote. Now we quote. Don't be telling my man to do because of what RuPaul said.
He also wears a dress.
Look, and I'm going right along. Yeah, girl, that's right.
Knows to wear a suit.
All the men need to listen to RuPaul. Isn't that sad?
And he dresses in suits and looks nice in them too. So as well as his other stuff.
Yes, he does. I ain't mad at him. But isn't that funny? Like, who would think RuPaul become the man's fashion consultant? He telling the men, does he wear suits? I guess he does every now and then.
He does sometimes. He does.
Exactly.
But that's America. Only in America can a man tell a woman how to be a woman on the fucking catwalk.
Is that the truth? Isn't it the truth? And like Steve Harvey, he had the biggest book on telling women what to do.
Right.
Think like a man. Who wants that? Look, literally, who wants their woman to think like a man? You know,
America. This is America.
Isn't it something?
Look, not men.
Exactly. It's like I know men were like, the men were probably like, burn the book. Burn the book.
They do say that.
I ain't gonna say nothing.
Yeah.
Burn the book. But it's funny. You know, that just proves to you an expert is only an expert because media has told us that they're an expert. Because they basically have forced that person in front of us. Like next thing you know, you're watching TV and they're telling you about their book that they have out, you know, and then you're listening, and then they become your expert. That has nothing to do with
expert on relationships. Steve Harvey supposedly had 4 failed marriages.
Exactly. So you know he is an expert on failure in marriages.
Well,
look, he said
he can tell you what not to do.
Exactly. This is what not to do.
And what to do to get remarried, because clearly he's doing something.
And look, and what he should do, and which I truly believe, that timing is everything. That's all.
Mm-hmm.
Life is about timing, correct? You can't, there's not that much difference probably between his current wife and his first wife. It's just that he was a different man at a different stage of his life.
Right. Yeah.
So does that go to his character?
That's
Does
true.
that go to his character?
His character developed. Exactly. His character developed, and he became a better man for this woman.
I can take that.
And I'm sure he would agree. You know what I'm saying? That
And he would.
If he has the woman, if he was the man that for that same man for his first wife, they wouldn't have had to break up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, he tell you he was a womanizer, but evidently he's not like that now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly. And he was because he could.
Yeah. And he can't. And then the ones that stated people change because men change, and develop over time. And I've often said that. Like if I had met my husband, I couldn't have met him too far ago because then I would have been a pedophile because he's younger than me. No, but I could have. But if I had met him, back, he's not the man that he would be. You know what I'm saying? You just don't appreciate each other. You know what I mean? The same. So, but it's funny. He goes, he don't like to hear me when I go, oh my God, when you were this, I was this.
But that is true for me. I can say that for myself as a man. I am not the man that I am is not the man that I was.
Yes.
I can definitely say that.
Yes. Yes. Nor was I the same woman. Like we women, we grow and change. Like, when you're younger, you don't have the same character. You just don't. Even as women, like we want to believe that we were the same woman at 20 as you are at 40, but you're not.
My thinking process is wow.
Yeah, you're not. Even Queen, even Queen Howard has matured. Has more emotional intelligence for sure, right? Like Ms. Novell was saying that we say mature. We used to say maturity, but wow, emotional intelligence can make a young person amazing.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
Mm-hmm.
If they can get that emotional intelligence, the younger that you can get it, the better. But it's just really hard. Really hard. It's like you have to go through experiences that teach you, so then I'm not going to allow that to elevate me. This person's probably going through something. Like you said, you learn to empathize with them. There's probably something else that's going on. Maybe they're having a challenging time, or they just had an argument. So just, be there, stay calm. But when you're younger, you're like, what? What's going on? Like, you're more, but so definitely that same goes with your finances as well. But we have to become emotionally, financially mature, the earlier the better too. Because if you can start saving 20% of your pay off the bat, can you imagine?
Mm-hmm.
Amen. Like it makes a difference. It makes a difference. But it's still hard. And think about it's hard to just force values on somebody, and trying to teach other people to want to save their money. I think that saving your money and living below your means is in many ways un-American, because society is based on people financing things.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
And buying stuff they really can't afford. It keeps the economy going, so it's pushed at us, and oh, you can afford it. We can afford it. As I was telling the client today, and they want to buy a new car, I said, when you go into the dealership, they're going to say, what kind of payment are you looking at? Don't answer that. You tell them, I want this vehicle and I want it for this price. That's it.
That's it.
You know me, you're going to go in there knowing what your payment is. You're going to go in there knowing what the reasonable price for that vehicle is. Don't let them tell you that. We don't even need them to finance it. We can have a check when you go in.
Yep.
That's the way I prefer to see my clients. So you're not going through that. You know, you say, hey, the financier gave me such and such for this particular car right here. And that's the check that I have. And you either gonna take it or I'm gonna go to the other dealership. We don't have to go and beg anymore. That's that financial confidence, that emotional intelligence, that getting rid of any denial or lack of confidence, or, you know, changing our entire financial mindset. You know, the Andersons would tell me about an amazing what happened with them when they were buying a property, and we went, you know, and it's just amazing. I was telling them what the way that we can do it and how it's going to be done, and they trusted me, and we did it. And that's the kind of respect that you should have. That's the kind of respect that you should have. So whenever you're approaching a type of situation, don't forget to run it, you know, by me. And we have to, you know, someone else was saying that they have a property they're trying to sell. They got an offer. And I said, they should be telling you how, you know, proving that they have cash. Somebody comes to you with a cash offer and they haven't proved that they have the cash. Why should you have to prove it if you were buying? They should have to prove it if they're buying from you, correct?
Right.
Right.
You know, but it's amazing how when, you know, they'll come, you remember when you're in the driver's seat, you're the one, it's your money. It's just that they're socialized to think that they're doing us a favor. It's the trick. Well, thank you all so much for your time tonight. I appreciate you all.
Thank
JB at jbbryan.com. Email me, jb at jbbryan.com if you need me. Don't forget to join. Go to afroeconomics.com. As soon as you join, go into membership. I will set up our first meeting ASAP. And then,
great meeting, JB. Great meeting.
Thank you so much. You're the greatest. You're the greatest indeed. Next to the other greatest. The other person. I treat you bad, don't I? Exactly. She's like, take all back your compliments and everything.
All the time. I
Exactly.
I can't support you.
I know you bring me nothing but love, and I just treat you bad. That's how it is. That's how it is.
But that's family. That's family, baby.
Look, because I ain't no joke.
Oh God.
That's right. No joke. Have a good night.
Good night.